I believe that the only person I seen talk about this story was Lisa Cabrera, and shout out to Lisa because that actually prompted me to want to talk about this story. I wish I had hopped on it as soon as it happened, but you get backed up with a lot of the other things. But I'm about to talk about it right now. And this story is not shocking nor surprising, especially when it comes to young black brilliant minds. But this young lady's name is Camilla Campbell, and she's from Florida. She's from Miami Gardens, Florida. So you already know where this is headed. And she's 18 years old. She decided that when you have to get ready to graduate and go to a good school, you take the SAT, the Scholastic Aptitude Test, and depending on your score, that determines like what school you get to, or um if you get a certain amount of scholarships or grants, things like that. Well, she took the test twice. The first time she took the test, she scored a 900 out of 1600. So she knew that that wasn't a very good score. So she decided, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and take the test a second time. The second time she took the test, her score improved. She got a 1230 out of a 1600 and decided, okay, this will be a good enough score for her, to send off the schools whenever she's applying to college. But then she ran into an issue from the people over at the Educational Testing Service, who sent a letter back to her saying that she cheated. So you're probably wondering like I am and how she is, like, okay, what do they mean that she cheated? What are you talking about? What do you mean she cheated? They're basically saying that her score, and this is what they said in so many words, that her SAT score improved too much. And I would be sitting there just puzzled, like, what did you just say? Like, that makes no sense. What do you mean my score improved too much? Basically, what they're saying is they find it hard to believe that a person who scored a 900 could improve their score and jump from a 900 to a 1230 in a certain amount of time span. And the thing is, it spaces out because you have to take them on certain days. It's not like you take the SAT, say, this weekend, and then when you take it again, you take it the following week. No, it's spaced out like if you take it this time, then you got to schedule again when to take it. Is usually maybe a month later. It's not like they happen right behind each other. But they said that she cheated because there's no way that her score could have jumped from a 900 to a 1230. And then accuse her of cheating. They saying that's the only possible way that she could have had a test score that made that significant jump to the point where it went into passing category. In other words, they would have preferred that she would have turned in that score of a 900, because then that way they can say, oh, then her scoring a 900 is believable, but not a 1230, especially not this much of a jump. But what she did was that she studied. They said she studied and she got a tutor and got one of those SAT prep books. I know all about those books because when I was in high school, it was a blue book and it was a thick book, like almost like a telephone book. And they would give you that book so you could prepare to take the test. And sometimes you even had classes called SAT prep to get you prepared for the SAT. So you knew what you were doing. So she learned from her mistakes and decided to try again and knew that's what it took for her to pass. But that wasn't good enough for that. She said they'll tell you that you need to practice and work and study to do better. But when you do, they question it. And that is such a true statement. You have a lot of white people out there that will always drill into black people's minds or into their cranium that if you work just as hard or stuff like that, then you can get what I have, or that whole you have to work twice as hard or 10 times as hard to get what a white person has. And that's some bullshit, to be quite honest. You can do all of that and you still won't achieve what they get. We as black people have been pigeonholed into this thing where we have to feel like we have to work just as hard, or if not harder, to get what they have. And to be quite honest, with a lot of issues that they have going on, that people know or see how they operate, you wouldn't want what they have. Hell, some of the times they don't even want what they have. That's why they keep trying to strive to get something else while constantly stepping on other people's toes to get it. But they said that the NAACP, has linked up with her and her family. They said that she has got a lawyer. They're going to fight this. Hopefully, they take this to court because this is some BS. Like I said, I live in Maryland. I can tell you some stories about Montgomery County and how they cheated for those students and, for testing or whatnot. And I'm not sure for if they did SAT or not, but I wouldn't be surprised if they cheated for that as well. But if y'all remember, a few years ago down in Atlanta, and I think they're actually making a movie about this too, down in Atlanta, where you had, these black teachers were caught cheating for their students. Man, they threw the book at them. They threw some of them in jail. Some of them lost their job, lost their teaching licenses, which means if they wanted to go teach at another school, they couldn't, not even in another state. See, when a black person does something like this, they don't see it as helping or, trying to improve their students. No, they see it as what it is, as cheating. But when a white faculty member or teacher does the same thing, slap on the wrist, toss out the test, and make sure to keep it buried in under wraps. I remember all of this. I have a very good memory. But I do not believe for 1 second that this young lady cheated. That's the same thing that Larry Hogan tried to accuse the students in Prince George's County, which is a predominantly black county in Maryland, of doing. Notice every time black students, or black people in general, when it comes to intellect, white people cannot handle how smart we are when we really apply ourselves. They always say, pull yourselves up by your bootstraps. That's why I don't listen to them when they say that shit. They always say, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Do this and do that. But when we do, and not because they told us to do, but because we have to do it, they get upset. And then they start throwing around these wild accusations like you cheated, you didn't do this, you didn't earn this by merit, or all types of stuff. No, actually, all the stuff that you're accusing us of doing, y'all have done 100,000 plus times over throughout history. And it's proof, undeniable proof of it happening then and happening now. But I'm glad that she's taking action. Her and her family are taking action and not taking this lying down. To be honest, I don't like really standardized testing anyway, because what does it really prove? I feel like this. If the grades are there, go off of the grades. Don't just go off of, just some SAT scores, because I've come across some people who have probably some of the best testing scores, but they are dumb as shit. Meaning they are book smart, but street smart wise, they lack common sense. But kudos to her for really, willing to fight back against this and not just allowing them to roll over on her, because I highly doubt she cheated. I really don't think that she cheated. Y'all let me know what you think about this down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. The links will be in the description. I will talk to you in the next one.